Welcome back and welcome to my October TBR. Let's skip over the fact that we can't believe that it is October and the year's going away, blah blah. As always, my TBR will be some October releases and then some other books that I would like to read. And as always, my TBR will be hugely ridiculous. However, my September wrap up was pretty good. I am travelling at the end of October, so I've got up until then to try and get to some of the books I want to get to. I obviously have a couple of plane journeys, one in October, one in November, because the trip straddles both months, so I'm hopeful. So far, throughout the last few months, someone has come along and had a readathon at the end of the month to help me get through my last few unread books, so maybe there's one that I'm not aware of at the end of this month. Who knows? We'll see. So we have some October releases first of all. On the 3rd of October, big release day in the UK, The Body, A Guide for Occupants by Bill Bryson is released, and I am very excited about this one. I have pre-ordered the audiobook because that tends to be how I consume my Bill Bryson books, but I am looking forward to reading that one at some point in October. Then also on the 3rd of October, we have The Christmas Wishlist by Heidi Swain coming out. Heidi's Christmas book is finally coming. I have also pre-ordered this one on audiobook because I've been busy over on Audible recently. So I'm looking forward to this one hitting my app and reading and reviewing as soon as possible. We also have the new Jojo Moyes coming out in the UK on the 3rd of October. This one is called The Giver of Stars. I don't believe I've seen a finished cover for this one. That might be that I've seen it and just forgotten about it, but the proof cover is beautiful. So if it's anything like the proof cover, it's absolutely gorgeous. I do have a copy of this one on my Kindle, so this will probably be my first October read finished. And then something I have a physical proof of. I have physical proof of The Photographer of the Lost by Caroline Scott. This one also comes out. I'm not sure, I can't remember if this one is a full release on the 3rd of October or if it's ebook only and then the next book is coming. I can't even seem to hold it so you can see the lettering. It's just so dull here this morning. There you go, you can just about see the lettering. I have shown you this one before. This one was on my September TBR. I didn't get around to reading it, unfortunately, but I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm hoping, actually, if you want to know my full plan, I'm hoping to read it this first weekend in October because I feel like this is one of those that when I sit down and start reading it, I won't want to stop reading it, and it is a chunky, nearly 500 pages, so it seems like it would be quite a nice way to spend a weekend. I'm sure you'll agree. Then, of course, in order of release date, we have Christmas Shopaholic coming out. This comes out on the 15th of October in the US and the 17th of October in the UK. Yes, of course, I have pre-ordered that glorious Waterston special edition with the candy cane sprayed edges. I'm just so excited about it. And because I am seeing my mum at the end of October, I can just order it there and she can bring it over. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to go ahead and get the US version on the 15th so I can read it sooner, or whether, because I've been doing the last few Shopaholic books on audio, whether I'm going to pre-order the audiobook and my Audible account is the UK Audible, so that would come through either at 1 AM on Wednesday if I want to wait up for that, or on Thursday along with my other Thursday pre-orders. Let me know in the comments if you have an opinion on what I should be doing. More on the Shopaholic series to come in my other books I want to read section. Then also on the 15th of October, as well as Christmas Shopaholic, which obviously is my top priority, we have Beautiful on the Outside by Adam Rippon, which I heard him talk about at Book Expo. Trying to think whether it was BookCon or Book Expo. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. This one I have placed a hold on at my library, so we'll see when that one comes in. Generally with like memoirs and things, they tend to be pretty spot on with when they come in and get processed through, so we'll see. And then also sharing a release date with Sophie Kinsella in the UK is Lindsay Kelp, the next book in the Cinders and Sparks series, which I absolutely loved, which is her middle grade series. The next one, which is called Fairies in the Forest, that one comes out on the 17th of October as well. If you follow Lindsay on Instagram, I'm sure you've seen that she just got married, which looked fantastic. So congratulations, Lindsay, if you're watching this. And I'm very excited about the next Cinders and Sparks book too. You know, weddings and books, what could be better? Then moving on just a little bit further, I skipped over one because I saw Sophie Kinsella on my list and I was like so excited to get to her. On the 8th of October here in the US, we have a middle grade novel, another middle grade. I think I have 3 middle grade on my TBR this month, which is really quite nice because I read one that came out today, last month, which you'll see in my September wrap up. And I've really enjoyed reading some more middle grade. I don't know if it's because it's like, okay, we're like full back into school time now. We've had, you know, schools were back on the 1st of September. We've had some time. But this one is called Bouncing Back and it's by Scott Ostler. And this one is to do with going from being a basketball player to being a wheelchair basketball player. So this one should be interesting, and I like the fact that it is it features a character in a wheelchair, because I don't think I've read something like that recently. Also, I love when a book has texts between characters in. I think it just breaks it up really nicely, and this has that, so that's a good thing. That's on my list. And then another middle grade that I want to read coming out on October 29th is The Fresh New Face of Griselda. And this one is a moving coming of age novel about one girl's struggles to find hope in family and friends after her parents lose their home. So this one, again, I think is going to be really good. This one is a little shorter. This one's just under 250 pages and it's got quite large text. So this one seems like one to pick up in between novels as a little bit of a difference, a little bit of a diversion from that. And this one comes out in the US on October 29th. The very first publication dates, I can't remember if I said this, were UK publication dates. I think I've said whether I'm talking about a US or a UK publication date in general. Very dry this morning. Then also on October 29th, we have the graphic novel from Meg Cabot, Black Canary Ignite. This one is on my TBR. I was hoping to read this one last month, even though it wasn't on my TBR. I really wanted to get to it because I've seen people start to read this and there are some mixed thoughts on it. And this is the series of well-known authors that are tackling some of the DC comics in graphic novel form. And so I also have, which came out last month, Harley Quinn Breaking Glass by Mariko Tamaki. And so I think I will probably end up reading these two in tandem. So although this isn't an October release, I am counting it because I know I'll pick this one up and then go, oh, I want to read that one. So these two graphic novels are on my TBR. Then another couple of October UK releases. We have on the 31st, 2 fabulous Christmas books coming out from 2 authors who write fabulous Christmas books. The first one is The Christmas Invitation by Trisha Ashley, and the second one is actually already out here in the US but comes out in the UK on the 31st of October, and that is A Wedding in December by Sarah Morgan, which features parents from the UK flying into Denver for their daughter's wedding. I think she may have lifted that from my life, but it's fine. Then going back to Sophie Kinsella, obviously I have the last couple of books in the Shopaholic series on my TBR. I'm reading one of these a week and we're discussing over on Instagram. So my Instagram is always linked in the comments if you want to come over and discuss any of those with us over there on Instagram. I'm doing this with another Bookstagrammer and we alternate whether we have the questions on my page or her page. So the last one we talked about was the last one I finished, which was Mini Shopaholic, and then the one that we'll be talking about on Monday, if you are watching this video when it goes up, will be Shopaholic to the Rescue. No, is it Shopaholic to... No, that's a lie. It will be Shopaholic to the Rescue. That is the next one. This is my only UK edition of the Shopaholic series that I've read, that I will have read in the reread, because it's my signed edition from when I got to meet Sophie Kinsella. Very exciting. And then the final one that came out was Shopaholic to the Rescue, and then I will be all caught up and all ready for Christmas Shopaholic, and then I'll read that, and I know I'll be having Sophie Kinsella withdrawals, so I have tentatively put Can You Keep a Secret on my TBR as well. I have borrowed the audiobook of this one from the library so that I've got it there if I do want to read it, and I am trying to find somewhere where I can see the film of this one. So if anybody knows, let me know in the comments where I can watch the film of Can You Keep a Secret by Sophie Kinsella, because it's annoying me that I haven't been able to find it at the cinema. My cinema's really quite good, and I know it's had a limited release, but you know, quite often limited releases, my cinema gets them. So if you can think of somewhere where I can watch this, let me know in the comments, please. Then we have a book that I ordered from Book of the Month 2 months ago, so it's about time that I read this, and I ordered it because of the hype, and so if I leave it much longer, all the hype will have gone. I'll be like, why did I spend my money on this book? And that is The Whisper Man by Alex North. A lot of people read scary books or thrillers or more hard-hitting books in the month of October. Generally, that's not me, but since everyone else is doing it, let's put a thriller on the TBR. Why not? So this one is here, and then it will knock out another of my Book of the Month club picks, because out of last month's Book of the Month that I ordered 3, and I have already read them all. So that is a good thing. We're aiming to read the one from the month before. That's what we're aiming to do. Then I have 3 library books that I would like to get to. First of these is a non-fiction book. You'll notice that there's not really been, apart from the first Bill Bryson, there's not really been a lot of non-fiction on the list, and I didn't read a lot of non-fiction last month. I only read a couple, so I want to get back into some more non-fiction, because I think that when I read, you know, the fiction, the non-fiction, the adult fiction, the young adult fiction, the middle grade fiction, the poetry, when I mix it up a bit, I get more excited about what I have to read. If I'm reading exactly the same thing over and over again, that's when I find myself getting into a bit of a slump, or not really feeling like reading and turning to Netflix instead, which isn't a bad thing. You know, we like Netflix, we like watching TV, we like watching films, it's fine. But so I have Generation Friends, which is about a TV show, and I read I'll Be There For You the beginning of this year. I think it was the beginning of this year. I've lost track now. So I'm excited about reading another book about friends, see what it has to say. It's super, super shiny. And I had this one on pre-order, and my hold pretty much came in. Oh, it's got photos. How cool is that? As soon as the book came out. So kudos to my library for having it there and processing it so quickly so that I could have it and then have it sit on my shelf for a little while. So going to read this one ASAP. Then another non-fiction, again, that I sort of pre-ordered, I had on hold from the library before it came out, and that is the other F word, A Celebration of Fat and oh my god, just seen the end papers. A Celebration of Fat and Fierce. They stuck the sticker over the other word, and I was like, I think it's fierce, but I want to double check. And look at the glorious end paper. Look at those. They are so fantastic. So this is non-fiction, and this is by Angie Manfredi, and I've heard a lot of amazing things about this one. And she has hair very similar to mine in her other pic. Love that, love that. But I just like the illustrations that go through. I just think it is a gorgeous looking book. I'm very excited to pick it up. And again, want more non-fiction in my life. And then one that I got from the library after it was a Book of the Month Club pick. I always kind of double check before adding a second book to my box if it's freely available from the library, and obviously if it is, I don't pay the money for it from Book of the Month because I can borrow it from the library and the author still gets royalties. And this one is Hello Girls by Brittany Cavallaro and Emily Henry. It's very early, I had to make sure I said the names properly. And this one is Best Friends Are Forged by Fire, when Winona Olsen and Lucy Price, for Winona Olsen and Lucy Price, that fire happens the night they meet outside the police station, both deciding whether to turn their families in. So I've been seeing a lot of people reading and loving this one, so this one is on my TBR for October. Then I did order a couple of poetry books that are on their way. I was hoping they would get here in time for this video, but they didn't, so there is some poetry on my TBR as well, so make sure you follow me on Instagram so that you can see when those poetry books arrive, because basically when a poetry book comes into my house, I read it almost straight away, get my little sticky notes out to flag the poems that I really love. So yeah, make sure you're following me on Instagram so that you see when that one comes and you'll know what poetry I am reading this October. And that is all I have for you. I do have some other books that I have listed in my blog post for my October TBR. So again, that will be linked in the description box as well. My blog is always linked below. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed so that my next video, which will be my September wrap up, lands in your subscription feed. And I will be back with that video very soon. Thanks for watching.